All right, welcome to another episode of the Ask Swenk Show. On today's episode, we are going to be chatting about employee profit sharing, your commission structure for referrals, and how do you take a great client that's paying you hourly and transition them to paying you monthly in a retainer. Now, before we begin, I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like you've hit that agency plateau where you just can't really figure out what's next and how to scale and really what you need to do in order to get to the next level? If you do, and you want to be surrounded with other like-minded people going through the same things that you're going through right now, as well as have been there and done that so you can get through the weeds and the bushwhacking a lot quicker, I want to tell you about the Agency Elite. And the Agency Elite is a group of agency owners over 300,000 in revenue and under 10 million. And it's all about scaling and getting to the next level. And we're going to meet every quarter a day before one of the major marketing events. So we're going to have a live workshop every quarter together in a small, intimate setting where you can all connect and be around amazing agency leaders where you guys can get to the next level, as well as we're going to meet monthly. So if you want to know more and actually request an application to get into the Agency Elite, because we have to chat with everybody and make sure you're cool and you can actually contribute to the group, make sure you go to agencyelite.net. That's agencyelite.net. We couldn't afford the .com, so make sure you go to the .net and check out and request an application, and maybe we'll chat with you and put you in the group.
I'm Jason Swenk, and I'm answering your questions. And this is Ask Swenk.
All right, so let's get into the first question. So Geoff asked, what are your thoughts on profit sharing for key employees? I love it, right? Because you want to incentivize your employees in order to make more profit. And so what we would do in short is we would say to the project manager or the team, we would say, all right, we have baked in 25% profit margin into this project. If you can make the team more efficient and deliver quicker, then we can split the remaining profit for you. So let's say out of a 100-hour project, we had 5,000 profit. That's not the case, but let's just say, I'm doing bad math right now. Let's just say 5,000 was profit that we were expecting, on top. And then what we would do is if the project manager was able to make it 10,000 in profit, which is 5,000 extra from what we wanted, we would split that commission with them in their quarterly bonus. So at the end of the quarter, we would tally up all their projects and we would go, okay, well, you made us 5,000 here, but you lost us 5,000 here. It's a wash. So it's not just like, you don't want to have those employees benefit on only the ones that they do. Now, it doesn't work on the reverse. If they lose you money on all the projects, you can't take money back. But at the end of the day, if they lose you money on all the projects, either you have a bad system in place and you have to change that, or you have a bad employee and you need to get rid of that employee. So you really need to look at that in order to make sure. But that's how we would do profit sharing. And then, a lot of people do profit sharing in the wrong way, where they just say, all right, the agency did this amount of profit and I'll give you a certain percentage. You could do that, but I wouldn't. I like to do it based on kind of the micro commitments and kind of taking the average of all kind of the micro commitments and setting up kind of mini goals. Because, let's say your agency does extremely well and you have 10 employees and 8 of them are rock stars, and you have profit sharing and you say, we're going to give everybody a bonus based on the profit of the agency, but the 2 employees really didn't contribute to that. They actually kind of hurt that. It could have been even better. In that case in point, that everybody would benefit, and I don't think that's fair. So I like to have micro commitments from each of the team in order to, how are they growing the profit, right? And you can do this based on the designers, developers, project managers, everybody. But that's what I would do. All right, so next question. Ryan asked, I know you've talked about salespeople and compensation before, But what about referrals? Flat fee, percentage, one time, or life of the project or clients? So Ryan, great question, by the way, because a lot of people don't cover this, right? You're kind of like, well, someone keeps giving me work or recommending business, so should I pay them? What we would do is we would do 10% referral rate for the first project. That's key. For the first project, not the life of the project. Now, if you create a structure with the referral partner, right, you can talk to them and they're integral in, like, let's say they send you the first project and then they help you get the second, definitely pay them for the second and all the ones that they help. But if it's just an introduction, pay them for the first project and pay them 10%. Now, when we would know the business was coming from a referral, we would automatically bump up our price 10%. So the actual client would actually pay the referral. The client doesn't know they're paying it, but we would bump it up 10% because we don't want to lose 10% of our margins, right? And no one's ever gonna know. But that's what we would do. Is that right? It's got to be right with you. But like I said, in everything I tell you, there's always going to be a right and a wrong for everybody. And some of the things that we did may not be right for you, but that's what worked for us. And yeah, I think I answered everything for that. So, but that's what we would do. And it worked extremely well. So just to sum up, we'd pay 10%. We'd bump it up 10% because we knew it was coming from a referral. If it was just an introduction, it was a one-time deal. If it was a referral partner and they kept helping us out, then we would pay them ongoing as much as they were helping out. Now, the one other thing to think about is if you're working with strategic partnerships, which is a little different than referral partners. So like with Sitefinity, right? I always talk about Sitefinity and we were the #1 partner. We were always constantly helping each other out. So neither one of us was looking for commission back and forth, because if we won a deal, they won the deal because they were going to get the license and they were going to get that fee. And if they sent us work, right, they were still going to get that. So you just got to look at it that way. We wouldn't pay a commission there. And some people, they don't care about the commission. I mean, it's kind of nice, and some people do. So you just got to figure out what makes them tick. All right. Kurt asked, I have a great client we do work for at an hourly rate. This is the only client we have like this. We want to transition this client to a long-term contract for a flat rate. Any suggestions on the best way to have that conversation about making that transition? So the best way to do it is when you're meeting with them, and hopefully you're constantly meeting with them. Obviously, if they're a good client, you should be meeting with them all the time, and just say, hey, looking at what you want to do and your goals and the objectives that you want, we really feel it's better for us to do a new structure in this way. And then you have to explain to them the benefits for them, not the benefits for you. If you do it that way and you really kind of think about, well, now we can respond to you quicker, right? We have it scheduled. And then think about other things. I mean, this could be a possible upsell too. I mean, obviously this is an upsell. So you got to start stacking, kind of, one of my friends, Frank, always calls kind of stacking the cool, right? So you got to think about all the cool stuff that you can stack on top of it in order to get them excited about this new kind of plan that you're putting them on it. But it has to benefit them, not just you. And that's how I would structure it. This is not over the email saying, hey, we're changing your plan or changing your pricing. It's a physical conversation with them. And it's always a good time to bring some kind of upsell or something you want someone to do after you've had some success, or that they said, man, this is working really extremely well. That's when I would kind of pull the trigger and be like, cool, I'm glad you think this is working really well. We were thinking about your business and your objectives and where you wanted to go, and we really feel that there's a great opportunity if we did it this way. And that's why, and here's all the things that you're going to get. And then just say, what do you think? Do you think this is a good plan as well? And that's how I would transition it, rather than just giving them an ultimatum. Cool?
I want you to join the conversation. Make sure you comment and subscribe. Thanks for giving me your most valuable asset.